Good morning. Hi, everyone. Buen dia, buenos dias. Today we have as our guest and probably one of the first interviews here in Hazme la Pared, Akeem Ward. How are you doing, Akeem?
How are we doing, guys? I'm doing well. Just trying to do what I can during this time. It's crazy time. Trying to stay safe and all that, and then keep training for when hopefully our season starts back up.
Where are you right now?
I'm in North Carolina at the moment, so I'm here with the team. Most guys aren't allowed to leave and go home. So I've been here since everything kind of kicked off. So.
Okay. So by the way, can you flip the cell phone or yeah? So we have
Okay.
more of a screen.
Okay.
Are you living with teammates right now?
Yeah, I have a roommate. Yeah, one of our striker. His name is Robbie Crystal, so he's my roommate. So they usually set us up in 2-bedroom apartments unless you have families, and then they switch you out with that. So.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and how is that? It's just, had you already start working with the team and then you had to isolate and do the quarantine, or you were barely already started, or how was the process?
We were kind of like started up. We had our first game already. We'd been training for a month or something like that. Trying to get things going. We had our first game of the season. We're gonna have another game. So we were pretty deep into it, and then we found out the team won't probably travel to play us. And then we started training for another week, and then slowly progressed to, okay, we can't train together anymore. And then slowly progressed to like a lot of guys were doing like group stuff together. And then it progressed to like, okay, you should be only doing stuff with your roommate. And then now it's progressed kind of to like stay inside and only run like out of necessity and don't really go to the pitches. But yeah, so.
Yeah, I think I saw, I don't know if it was in Instagram or somewhere, you with someone else. I don't know if it was your teammate, doing something in the parking slot, right?
Yeah, my teammates. So we were training and doing that stuff, speed training with the ball and stuff like that. So we're trying to do whatever we can. We usually do that every day. The weekends are kind of, we take off and just relax, and then Monday through Friday we get back after it, and we have stuff they give us, but there's some stuff we do on our own to do extra things. So.
Okay, a little bit aside from the team now, how is your family doing? I know you have family. Is family living in Virginia?
Mm-hmm. So my family is good. So they're doing well. I barely get in touch with them because they're always doing stuff together, playing games. Like, oh, I can't talk right now. This, and this. So I'm like, okay, it seems like you guys are doing very well. Then that's the only thing that matters. So I have both my grandparents there. Before everything started happening, I was gonna go back and visit, but like the more and more you learn about this disease, the more you realize that the farther you stay away, the better it is for people who are compromised. So especially the older people. So I was like, I'm not even gonna risk it to go see everybody, say I have it, and don't know I'm asymptomatic. I don't want to be the reason anything like that happens. So.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I wanna keep chatting about soccer a little bit, and I mean we have known each other for quite a few years.
Yeah.
Back and forth, and at least we definitely share one thing, which is the passion for soccer. And so that's what I want to chat about. First of all, I think more than going chronologically, how it's been doing professional life, and bueno, it is professional and all that, but how it's been doing, since you were drafted. Before we go into a specific, how is that thing? We were, in Eugene at times, and okay, professional is there, and all of you had doubts. I'm gonna go there or not, and I didn't have many doubts with you. How is generally, we can go a little bit farther later on,
Mhm.
going so far professional for
It's been crazy. It's been a story. Like I remember playing my first game the last year of my senior year and doing well, and like, okay, this is a big potential. Like my agent saying, this is a big potential. Okay, just you have to have a good senior year. Ended up things working out, having a good senior year, and then I get invited to the combine, and I go to this Las Vegas combine, and I'm like, okay, like a lot of these dudes have the official invite to the combine already, so this should be a good test. Had a good time there, and then I went to the actual combine, and I was like, this is crazy. Like these are the best players in the country. Like this is like once in a lifetime thing, and I think I did a good job of just embracing it and having fun. Like that's what allowed me to play so well and get drafted so high, because I was just happy and having fun. I recognized that I'll never be in a situation like that again. So I ended up doing well, getting drafted.
Why were you so happy? What was the thing that was? How come were you feeling so, I don't know, so unease, or do you know why that happened?
I just felt I can't really put my finger on it, but like I felt less stressed when I was there at the combine than I was my whole senior year. It was weird. I felt so like, okay, I kind of acknowledged that I was there. I acknowledged all the hard work, and I was like, okay, you're here for a reason. Obviously you're here for a reason. Everyone's here for a reason, but the difference between you and them is that you kind of know that this is it. This is the opportunity for you. Like you have to really put things in perspective. Like this is never happening again. So like, why be nervous? Why be scared? Why not get to know all these dudes who are all good people and stuff like that? So I just embraced it and just had fun with it. And I was like, man, there ain't nothing else. And just be confident in your abilities, because you're there for a reason. And then after that, things just kind of worked its way up from there.
I know. I think you got good relationship with Patiño. I know him a little bit also because of the Northwest competition in BTL with Santiago Patiño.
No, we're pretty cool. Yeah, I could text him right now and say what's up, because we play in the same combine team. We played on 2 of the same combine teams actually. So we played together in Las Vegas, the one before, and we played together in the actual combine. So so I got to know him pretty well. Really good dude. He's smashing it out in Orlando, so that's awesome.
Yeah, happy for him as well. So you said that you felt good there. Yeah.
And then got drafted, and I was like, it was like a whirlwind of the time frame of everything. From the combine, the last day was, say, on the 7th, and then you're in getting drafted on the 9th, and then you're back home the 13th, starting preseason. So it's like, it was difficult, especially coming from college soccer. It was like that. It was real quick. So when that happened, I was like, well, it's just time to get to work now. Like there's nothing else to do now. Like you've done this, it's time to go get a contract, because many people don't realize that the combine is kind of I hate to say it, it's like a I wouldn't say a glorified invite, but it's a formal invite. It doesn't mean you get a contract. It's just you have a better chance than the guys who are coming in for preseason, because you got a proper invite. So that's what it is. When people didn't understand, like, oh, when I got drafted, they didn't understand the work just began, kind of thing. Like I hadn't even like dipped my toe in the water yet. And after I signed my contract, it still was work to be done. So like this whole thing, looking back and everything as a whole, it's been good. It's been a lot of personal growth for sure, a lot of growth on the pitch. And what I really want to do is just kind of see where my ceilings are. I kind of want to push the envelope, see how far I can go. That's the thing. You know, obviously when I get older, money will be a part of it, because I'll hopefully have a family and things of that sort. But at this moment, I'm trying to go anywhere and everywhere to get experience, get opportunities, and to see how high I can push my envelope with football for sure. So.
I think you mentioned already, but I have also, here and there, I always follow the people I know a little bit, and I know, and you are already mentioning that it has been a little bit difficult, and I know that, going from one team and then to another team, which is normal. It is part of what it is, but until it actually happens to you, probably it is complicated. And so how was kind of reorganizing your head after DCU, then saying, okay, here I go. I know you were not for a long time just without the team, right? But this is what you are meaning by trying to grow, and the difficulties going from one team to another team, going from different teams to different teams, teammates. Yeah, how was just the changes throughout the season? How do you kind of mentally say, okay, let's go? It takes a little bit of time for you. You feel frustration, and then you go. It's like, okay, this is just part of what it is to be a professional.
So in your rookie year, your instinct is to be like, okay, this is my first year. Like, okay, it's whatever's happens to you is okay because you're happy to be here. You know, you're just happy to be here. I was like that at DC, and that's kind of where it led to me kind of losing it all there, being like, okay, I'm just happy to be here. Not granted, I was working, but I just didn't know how to be a pro. I didn't understand how to completely be a pro and everything. And that's my fault. And there's other things to it. But so when I was with DC, I was actually on loan every now and then with Loudon.
Yep.
So like, hold on, give me. This dog is.
Oh yeah, we have to talk about the dog later. Yeah.
No, for sure. But actually, give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put her in her crate. When I was with DC, I was actually on loan with Loudon, so that means I was going up and down, which is pretty difficult to do.
Were you how were the training weeks? Were you training all the time with Loudon? But you at times with DC? How was that?
100% with DC, and only before I played matches with Loudon, I would have two training sessions with Loudon. So it literally would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, which were hard sessions for DC because they'd have matches on Saturday. Loudon maybe have a match on Friday, or they'd have a match on Sunday. So the different loads, it was very hard to manage. So it was Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And if there was a game Sunday, then I do Thursday with DC. But I always do 2 days before. And beginning, it was usually 1 day. It was literally I just travel with them, train before the match, and then play. So there's a few of us in that boat. But then some of them stayed up, and then some of them were hurt. So I was kind of, at one point in time, I was by myself just doing that. And then it was just me and another guy, which is hard to do. But the problem with everything was the kind of communication, or the lack thereof. I eventually got to the point where the head coach wouldn't even tell me. He would just text me, or it wouldn't even the physio would tell me, or our strength coach. So like it would be like no communication. Some days I wouldn't even know that the head coach of Loudon would text me, "Hey, are you training with us today?" I'm like, I have no idea. Like I was one of the first guys at the facility because I tried to create the good habit of showing up early. So I didn't really have a problem. But the problem with showing up early and everything is our training started at 10 and Loudon started at 12. So if I was there early and they're like, "Oh yeah, you're training with Loudon today," I'm just sitting around for 2 hours.
Yeah. And for how long was that kind of moving around? You feeling that you were moving around with no much direction? It was like a month, more than a month, maybe.
The whole year.
Yeah. Wow.
The whole year. Actually, I could say in the beginning, I was going up and down, and then I hit a span in the middle of the season where I was traveling, and I was probably on the bench, and then I had my debut. So I had a span of maybe 4 weeks or a month where I was like within the first team so much that like I was never going with Loudon. And this was good for like personal experience, but as well as negative because I didn't get to get all those games underneath my belt, which I've learned that that's the only thing that matters is the amount of games and the amount of game experience you can get. Especially because I was coming out of college at I'm not young. So I need as many games as I can. So like fast forwarding to now, I really need this season to come because I need these games. But yeah, I needed games while I was with DC, but I was just in the mode like, oh, I'm happy to be here. Like, this is great. Got my debut, all that stuff, and I was like, okay, this could turn around. I could really start playing. Like they've groomed me in preseason to be like a guy that could be a second or third guy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it never worked out like that, and it is what it is. But so they kind of didn't even communicate with me. My head went to negative, like, okay, I'm on loan, like what? Like they obviously don't care about me. I was a little annoyed, and then people started to help me more and more. And I think this is my fault as well, but as well, if I got the information from a head coach who's like, yo, we want you to develop, we want you to get better, we're gonna watch all these games. That was not communicated to me once, like until I was released. That was their goal. I'm like, that could have been told to me, so I could have maybe had a better mentality about it. Granted, I should have had in the first place, but a little bit of help as a first year guy could have gone a long way. I could potentially still be in MLS right now if I have changed my mentality just like that. And I think I did start to change it, but it was a little too late near the end of everything.
Yeah.
And yeah,
I think maybe you are the kind of guy that, and I feel close to that kind of mindset, that I need to get not a lot of communication, but some clarity, and then I can prepare myself, right? It's like, okay, you are going to be in this situation. Okay, I'm going to work 100% and I'm going to do all I can, even if you are putting me over there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if no one tells you, you might get into your head too much and you just get discouraged. And
yeah, I was just trying to figure everything out so much. And trying to figure things out and playing as a first year guy is so hard to do.
Yeah.
And especially with our Loudoun team, it was a lot of kids and a lot of first year. Our first game, we had 8 or 9 debuts in professional soccer.
Wow.
Against Nashville, which is an MLS team now.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just a long, bumpy road there. And then near late July or late June, stuff with my contract was being sorted out. And I got hurt. I got hurt in the middle of summer, like May and June. And at that time, if you're a rookie and you're hurt, you don't even exist. So like coming back and all that stuff was hard. Came back a little bit for a week, got hurt again, different hamstring. So it was difficult then. And then they kind of extended my contract to where they could release me between a certain time frame. And I was like, okay, like sure, like okay. So I'm starting to like, we need to see more from you in Loudoun. So I'm like, okay. So I start trying to do what I can, but at that time, you already put all the pressure in my head coming back from injury. Don't want to get hurt again. Putting all this stuff in there. So it's a lot. It was a lot to deal with. And I dealt with it the best I could, I thought, or the best I was capable of handling. And I did pretty well. Not obviously up to my standards and obviously up to their standards, but I believe, and I always to this day will believe, the standards they kind of put on me were kind of so far-fetched that it was already done. But got released, and then got a phone call the next day I was released from the head coach of Birmingham. And I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, yeah, we saw you at the Combine. The assistant coach for DC, who I didn't even think, like he talked to me rarely. He's a really good dude, but talked to me rarely. He was kind of the guy who demands everything. He made the phone call for me. I didn't even made the phone call to
what's his name?
His name is Chad Ashton.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So he made a phone call for me, and I ended up texting him and thanking him so much for that. Made a phone call for me for Birmingham, and they saw me at the Combine. They're like, "Oh yeah, we really liked you," which brings everything back to the Combine. A few UNL teams wanted to sign me, but I said no. Like before the Combine, even at the Combine, I said no. I'm going MLS right now. I'm gonna give that a shot. So that all played out, and I find myself Wednesday being released and Friday signing my contract to Birmingham and Sunday in Birmingham, Alabama. So it was just like,
yeah. Before you mentioned, and I was checking on the stats, and I remember when you were on DC, of course I was checking, as I do again with Patiño, with Benji, with other people I have seen playing close. But yesterday I was checking again the stats. I don't know if the stats are not right, but it says that you have been an unused sub in a lot of games. Well, not so many. Well,
In
quite.
DC.
Huh?
In DC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. It says like 15 games, and just yeah.
Around I think around 10 to 12. I don't know about 15, but
Yeah.
I was on the bench a lot. Yeah, I was on the bench a lot, and they look down. I'm like, okay, here it is. Nope, nothing. So I was on the bench a good amount of times for DC.
Of course, you know why that happened, right? Well, I don't, but it's because they can put you anywhere theoretically.
Mm-hmm.
You can play right back, you can play left back. You are just supposedly a guy that is ready. At least that's what I know from Akeem. So that is something good. You don't make someone trouble if you think you are never gonna use it. But yeah, I can't imagine how difficult day after day could be that situation. Even if
it was hard. It was hard, but it was a good experience because I needed that because ultimately my goal is to get back in MLS and then to Europe or wherever that my final destination I want to be Europe. So this is good learning experience. Like this is everything that's happened. Like I always tell people, and they're confused when I say this. I'd rather gotten released late in July than stayed the whole year and not play and been a training player and not know what I know now about the league, about coaches, about how players operate and how the league operates, and being released early than being there the whole year and being naive and not understanding what's going on, and that happening to me 2 years down the road when I'm not prepared. So I'd rather be not prepared early and have that happen to me, and then understand, build everything up, and then when I get back in, because I know I'm gonna get back in, I'm not gonna let myself get back in. I'm gonna get back in, and then I'm staying. That's it. And then I'm gonna go up from there. That's it. So, Birmingham, all that stuff, and after near the end of my time at DC, or probably throughout the whole time, but it was just more near the last 2 or 3 months. I ended up having like one of my teammates become kind of my mentor in a sense. Really, really good guy, Quincy Amarikwa.
I was gonna ask you about people that can help, more experienced people, and you said Quincy, right? Yeah.
Quincy Amarikwa.
Yeah.
One of my very good friends now.
He has been in different teams.
Exactly. So it takes a certain amount of guys, certain few guys are willing to listen. And it wasn't till the end that I was kind of opened up and things started going wrong. And I was like, okay, I need help. And he was there willing to offer help with no return. And like, that's very rare. It's very rare that people want something without anything in return. So he was there helping me change my mindset, helping me understand more about coaches, reading situations on and off the field, and learning how to navigate locker rooms, learning how to not draw attention to yourself, because little things like that will turn people off of you quickly. So everything I learned, I applied at Birmingham, and that's why it went so smoothly and went so well for me. The first 2 weeks, like, you didn't hear me speak at all. I didn't speak once. I just watched and analyzed and saw everything and how everybody were operated.
Was that one of the kind of advices or recommendations or things that you pick up from listening to Quincy? Kind of
100%.
before,
100%. I now I listen and watch more than I do speak. I don't really speak unless I'm spoken to, honestly. And that was my mistake when I first got to DC. I thought, okay, you're here. Like, yeah, the talk, be friends, da-da-da-da. And, like, little did I know, people were writing me off left and right. Like, this guy talks too much. Like, this guy, da-da-da-da. So, like, it was good to be friendly, but, like, I didn't understand where I was at. I was in the locker room with Wayne Rooney, Lucho Acosta. And, like, I wasn't going up to Wayne trying to talk to him and stuff like that. Or Lucho. Lucho was the same age as me. But
does Lucho speak Spanish? O sea,
Lucho,
English. Hold on.
He does. Lucho does speak English. He was my roommate on a few trips. He's a good guy. So I didn't understand that. And that kind of led to my demise in a sense as well. Not understanding how to navigate within the locker room. And that's like the first thing that comes, because you're off the field before you get on the pitch. So you have to know how to do that, or people are gonna be like, forget this guy. Like, this guy fucking doesn't stop talking. This guy's so annoying. Doesn't like. And then once you do that, people can be against you and you not even know it on your team. And things are way more political than I expected them to be. And it is the way it is, and that's football. But I was naive coming out of college. And if I were to go back and tell myself, it'd probably be like, yo, shut up and just pay attention. And relax. Just relax. And like embrace everything. It's going to be hard in certain situations, but just embrace everything and do what you did at the combine. Because I was doing that in preseason. I was actually doing really well in preseason. Logically, some of my good friends like played on national team, played on World Cups. They're like, yo, if it was anybody, any other coach, if you were on a different team and you're playing the way you're playing, you would be starting the first game. But there's a guy from Boca Juniors making a lot of money on loan. It's stupid. They're going to play him no matter what. So that was like a tough pill to swallow, because they had preseason, they're playing me at left, right back, left, right back, left, right back. So I was like doing so well on both sides, promising, doing well, having other guys come up in the league like, yo, who is this guy? Like doing well, really well in preseason, and then try to translate it into the year. And the first game of the season, I didn't even dress. Like, I was like, okay, that's fine. We were playing against Atlanta. And I was like, okay, that's no problem. More and more games go by, but I come to every game. I come to every single home game, And like, that was not like a support thing. I just kind of wanted to see where I should be at, or I think I could be at. So every time I go to the game, I'm like, okay, like, if you want to play here, you got to watch them. You got to watch them. It's going to suck, because there's some people who you don't believe should be there, but are there. So go and watch. Just throw some salt in the wound, watch. And then when Monday rolls around, win or lose, you get after it again. So that was something that was good for me, and it helped me build character and all that stuff. But when I got to Birmingham, I was the complete opposite of who I was 5-6 months before that. Like, I was more seasoned as a pro, because I had more games underneath my belt. Had this type of confidence because I was coming from the MLS. Like, I understood the level I was playing at. Not saying the USL was below the level, but I'm saying that, like, I was training with and playing with Wayne Rooney. So, like, it was just like a mentality shift. Like, okay, now it's time to go work. Like, Birmingham seems like they need me, and I need them at this time. So, like, it's time to get to work. So things started going my way. I got there, started doing well. People started like, okay, yeah, you can play. Didn't hear anything from me. And then one of my teammates or the guy who's in my position is like a center mid, actually playing right back. I'm like, okay, it's fine, whatever. He's a captain. So he ends up getting a red card in a game, and I get subbed in. And the first game I was there, it was away in Ottawa, and actually ended up traveling there. And I came off like 5 minutes, and I was like pissed off because we got a red card. And like, I thought they'd make a defensive change and put me in. So I was like, okay, no. And then played for 5 minutes, did my thing. He was out the next match, and the next match was against Tampa away. Started that game, played full 90, played really well, and then that was it from there. From there, like, I was starting on left and right back throughout the whole year, and then I ended up playing left back majority of the time and transitioned to left back. So
I think actually because you moved to Birmingham, I think I managed to watch that game, the one you mentioned at Tampa. Super humid game, right?
Yes, so humid.
And I think once you move from place to place, you don't only understand, how people interact in locker rooms, how they are when they are not playing, etc. But also you realize that there are also in the States a lot of people that can play and that are very good players, and regardless they are in USL Championship or not, right? At least some of them are really good. Some others might be still just coming from college, and maybe they are not going to continue even their career. But I'm sure, and I remember when I watched the Birmingham teammates that you had, some of those guys were really good. I knew them from.
I believe to this day that that Birmingham team was the best team in the league on paper. I believe to this day. There were so many. We had so many ex MLS pros. I've never seen that before. It was ridiculous how many players and pros that played in the MLS and had a lot of MLS experience that we had on the team. Especially our coaching staff too. Like, it was just a team that could have done more. But it is what it is from that aspect. But we made a run that nobody thought we could make, and we made some history in the making there. So it was just it was a good year for a first year team for sure.
Talking about, well, not much talk, but about positions, I'm sure I told you at some point, but I'm not looking for credit. It's just experience. But the fact that you can play now left back is a plus for you, right? Or the fact that people think that you can play, of course, that is the important thing, that they have heard that you can play. They can probably come back to games and see you playing left back. Gives a lot of security to coaches because it's not an easy position to fill. And when you can do at least those positions, don't you think that is a plus for you? That is my impression, but right?
100%. I remember coming out of my freshman spring and then coming to Lane and playing right back and doing well, and I was having a fantastic time, and that's kind of where this kickstarted everything. Me going to Lane, I had no confidence before I got there. It was a really
wait, why you didn't have confidence?
Oh, you had no idea. Not many people know, but Lane was the reason that I'm pretty much a pro now, because as soon as I turned everything around, that was when I started my sophomore year to do well. Got hurt. Junior year played left back. Senior year played left back. Combine here. So Lane was, I was terrified. I almost transferred out of Creighton. I was told, hey, you're not doing well on the field or in school. We might find another situation for you, kind of thing.
When is this? Sorry.
This was at Creighton in my spring. So I transferred from NAIA. I played. Transfer NAIA. Go to Creighton. I was like, oh yeah, Creighton. Wasn't doing well in the spring. They had nobody else to play in my position, so I was playing. Not doing well. Wasn't adjusted to school. Wasn't adjusted to the football life. Wasn't adjusted at all. I just couldn't figure it out. And I remember before one of the practices, I was brought in the office by the head coach and an assistant coach, and they're like, yo, what's going on? You're underachieving on the field, off the field as well. If you keep doing this, we might find a different situation for you. I was like, what does that mean? He goes, we'll find another school that'll fit you. I said, oh, this is right before a training session, and they tell me to go out and train properly. So during this whole near the end of the year, I'm terrified. I don't even want to be in passing drills in the front. I don't even want to. We're doing long balls and stuff like that. I'm terrified. I don't even want to.
It was more the study. It was more the academics than the field, or it was both.
It was both. It was both. I just felt. I just couldn't push through my envelope. I just couldn't get to where I want. I couldn't get out of first gear. I don't know why, but I just couldn't. It just wasn't clicking every day. And then I'd go home and think about it, and then it wasn't clicking the next day. And so it just didn't click until near the end. And my head coach my assistant coach was like, you really have no idea how good you can be, huh? I was like, what? I was like, not really understanding. He's a really good friend of mine now, Johnny Torres, and he's the head coach now. And he was like, I'm going to send you and a couple guys to Lane. And my best friend Ricky was here. A few other guys were here, and I was like, okay, John Gallas, to his credit, was the perfect thing I needed at the time, of just a relaxed coach who was said, hey, give me something, and let's see what we can do and work with it. I'm gonna give you freedom, but you gotta listen, you gotta do this, and this. And that team was good, and I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. And then I started enjoying the game again. I wasn't happy at Creighton, I wasn't enjoying it. And that's the difference between what people don't understand is once you enjoy it, you can unlock this potential and ability that you didn't even know was there. Yeah. So do well at Lane, have a great time. I go back and I said, you know what? I'm not afraid anymore. I'm not. I came back and they're like, yo, who is this guy? Starting, doing really well, going off my freshman year, my sophomore year, doing really, really well. Arguably, I think I was the best player on the pitch, a lot of the matches I was playing.
Yes, you were.
And then
Watching the whole season.
and then I broke my foot. Boom. Yeah. And I was like, man, this is not what you need at all. And then my sophomore year, it was one of my good friends. It was his senior year. Both of my good friends' senior years. So they kind of naturally put him to the right side, you know. And like, okay, you're gonna play left back. We've seen you use your left foot. You can use it. But by then, since high school, I developed my left foot. I could use both feet like pretty well. And it wasn't until my junior year I was really tested in using it, like, because it's different. Playing left and right side is different. There's different nuances. There's a lot of differences in playing both sides. So my junior year, from a statistics standpoint, which is bases everything off of, I had 0 of everything across the board. I had no goals, no assists. So people were like, that's what American football is about, statistics. Yeah. So
okay, yeah.
I felt like, oh, it was not a good season. But looking back and watching all the matches back, I said, yo, I was very good at this. Maybe I was putting in very good services. Things weren't getting finished. So like I was like, okay, don't get discouraged. Like, you'll play right back next year. You'll be fine. Bring in a kid from ACC who cannot use his left foot. I love messing with him. His name is Yunus Badati. They're like, okay, he's more a right-sided guy. You ready to play left? You understand how to play it. Why would we switch you? I was like, what? Okay. So I ended up playing my whole senior year on the left side in a different position. My first game we play against Clemson. I get 2 assists, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna have a year now. So I ended up getting 2 goals, 6 assists. 2 goals, 6 assists, a left back.
Mm-hmm. When you are not the left back, because you can play there, but mira, I do remember that first season at Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Lane was extremely lucky of having you. Unfortunately, Ricky got injured basically this game, but it was Mitch, and it was the sweetest kid.
Joel, my boy.
So
we had some players.
Oh man, that was so talented team, and I was enjoying watching you. I mean, for me, I think it's very easy to see when someone can really play and has talent. So it is always interesting just for you to refresh me that you were kind of with lack of confidence, because I do remember the first game you guys, and I think you had gotten to Eugene maybe the day before.
We got there quick. I remember that.
It was against Portland Timbers, but in a place where usually youth teams play, like in a field. No one was there, and you were brought maybe in the second half, or I don't know if you started that game. But I was like, when the game finished, I was immediately going to John. He's like, who is that kid that was playing over there? I think that kid is good. I think. And he was like, Johnny told someone just had so good about him. It's like, wow. And then from that on, it's like every time we were on Willamette, it was just, Akeem, it's like watching a game of soccer for some at a certain point is very easy. And it's like looking any other landscape, and suddenly there are things like just stands out. And it was just, and you were playing as a right back. But I remember other seasons with Lane also kind of, hey, Akeem has to be more important because, I remember, it is funny how it works, how important it is that you feel unease with, that you feel, good with things, that you feel loose, and that you can really express all the things that you have inside. And also kind of following on that, you already mentioned, but maybe it's that season in Crichton, like something that everyone that has played soccer can relate. Like, when have you felt like, I am the best guy in this training? Like those stretches in which you are on fire like a basketball player, but also as a soccer player, regardless the position, at times you are like, I am the best player in the
It's real. It exists. It
exists. Yeah, I am the best player in this training for this week. I'm nasty, and everyone knows. How do you remember like stretches throughout your games and kind of career that you were like, wow, I am really, give me the ball because
Yeah, actually, I do remember a few games. My sophomore year, I remember screaming at people, "Yo, just give me like if I'm in the attacking half and I'm getting forward, I'm flying, give me the ball."
Yeah.
Like, give me the ball. And then people like Joel started to realize, like, just give him. We're gonna give it to him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play him a really good pass. Like, I remember my senior year when like at that time I was more of like I wanted to be captain and all that stuff, and Joel and somebody else became captain. So I was like, okay, younger me would have been like, what's? But I was like, bro, okay, I'm just gonna help the team any way I can here. I'm gonna do my bits, and I'll be fine. So I remember, I think it was the second goal. Joel knows that 1v1, I'm gonna skin the guy. So Joel is always spraying balls out, and me and him were talking about this before the goal happened. Like if maybe 2-3 days before, he goes, "Yo, I'm just gonna play that blind ball all the way across the pitch because I know you're gonna be running." I said, "Okay, so play it. 9 times out of 10, I'm running. Like I'm going." So he goes, "Okay." So he plays that ball, pings it all the way across the field. I'm running. I take it down, beat this guy 1v1, cross it in, goal. And I'm like, that right there is like shows that the when people believe in you and you believe in yourself, like it can work out perfectly. And people don't understand it's like that in the pros as well. It seems like there's no communication and like there's magic happens. No. There's a lot that goes into it behind the scenes that you guys don't understand. Yes, there is magic. Yes, 100% sure. But things happen. And there's like my sophomore year, I think I felt it more than anything. And even at Lane, I felt it too. Like playing against teams like Calgary, who thought they were always the best and stuff like that. Those games really annoyed me because they came in so arrogant.
Do you know that Elijah is one of the guys here, right? Have you seen Adekugbe? He's helping. He's part of these conversations.
Really?
You remember Elijah? Yeah. Yeah. We have. Yeah, he's great. You have to check the videos. And yeah, we keep in communication, so you can do talking with him.
So I remember always like playing against them. I was like, man, these guys are good. Number one.
Yeah.
But like, these guys think they're the best. Nah. So every time I wake up for these games, I'm like, yo, give me the ball, this, and this, and do well and play well against Calgary. And I remember, I think it was my last year. I think we beat them at home. We beat them at home, and then we played them again, and we weren't allowed to play. Joel, Mitch, and I weren't allowed to play because Creighton was like, nah, they can't play.
Yeah.
And we lost.
Yeah.
I was so mad. I said, Gals, just let us play. Don't say anything to them. They're not going to check. Just let us play.
Yeah.
Like we all wanted to play that game. He's like, we can't. He's like, I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm like, just don't or at least take us off a little bit. Like, let's play 60 and take us off.
Yeah.
Because there's back-to-back game. It was a double header. We're like
with Calgary always, yes. Yeah. I mean, you could play, but Mitch not. He will have some hamstring or something going on.
Yes. But like they're like, because Mitch was hurt, they're like, nah, we're not risking any of our guys. We're not risking any guys. So Joel and I are pissed. Mitch is like, bro, my hamstring. We're like, all right, whatever. So yeah. So like that was There's been moments for sure where I was like, okay, let me just take over a game, and like there's been games like that in the professional too. Like when I played my best game so far was against. There's 2 games. The reason I'm here at North Carolina is when I played them in Birmingham in the playoffs. We played that match, and I was like, "Give me the ball." And granted, I should have scored at least twice. I was shooting from anywhere and everywhere. Excuse me. And one of my shots was parried to the side, and we scored. And then, like, I was just getting up. I was like, "Yo, if I'm running, give me the ball." Like I'm like, this is the type of thing right now, and it's surreal for people to think that, like, how can an outside back be doing that? But like, this is the modern outside back now, guys. Like, you have to be as good offensively as you are defensively. So
yeah, I was thinking on that. Maybe, I mean, the guys that are gonna see this, they love the game, but no, it's the modern outside back, but it is also something true and real. Like when you are like imposing your game, it doesn't matter if you play outside back or no. And one of the players, I know this is before, but one of the players that definitely showed me that day in, day out was Roberto Carlos when he was at Real Madrid. He was, before the Galacticos, during the Galacticos, after the Galacticos, before Zidane, during and after, there was Roberto Carlos. He was the guy just opening up games, just shooting, crossing, just dominating. And so to a different level, it can happen in different settings. And you have done that with Lane many times. After Joel and some of those guys were not anymore in Lane. But just to make an example, and so it is completely real. You can do that. You can absolutely.
Yes, it is. It is real, and that feeling is that's the feeling I chase. You know, there's no other better feeling like when you just. That's the feeling you chase when it clicks. When all the gears just come together, and you're like, wait, what? Like nothing really matters. Like that's the one that's chasing, and the best players in the world are the ones that are able to do that every single time. And able to replicate every single time, year after year after year. Cristiano Ronaldo, Messi, every single time. Granted, there's some type of those are God-given. They were chosen, no doubt.
But I'm sure they have those moments as well in which they, incrementally just make this step, and then they can keep it, and they can.
Yeah, I guarantee there's moments where they do things, and then they're like after the game, like I don't know how I did that. I guarantee there's moments like that.
And those guys also, like, for example, I remember Iniesta has, I don't know if you are aware of, just to mention one of those guys, like him, like many others, and like you are right now in this, in your own path. All of those guys have gone through very difficult times in terms of a sport, and don't be on the starting 11. Like Iniesta, he was not a starter in FC Barcelona, even if he was a home ground playing until 24, 25, which is crazy. And then he, for example, he had a lot of lack of confidence. He had into depression with other stuff that happened to him. So he really got really, really low for a couple of years. And so there are a lot of things going on that are difficult for us to see from outside. And there are moments like, for example, for Iniesta, he got the depression the same season in which he ended up scoring the winner goal in the World Cup for Spain. So it's completely crazy. And those things happen. Those things are completely real. So it's definitely about, keep believing in yourself until everything happens. You put together a couple of great seasons, and you are not anymore with that kind of lack of confidence, and you are more.
Because you understand how to get to that point. You understand how to replicate it every time now.
Yeah, and you have that base of confidence always. And people understand that. No, he can do it. So we should treat him a little bit better because he's going to give us, instead when people don't know, that's why they might be tentative about really going all the way. But that is professional life everywhere. I know this is a little bit different, but talking a little bit about the game tactically and about coaches and coaching, you don't have to name coaches. I'm looking for one question that at times it is kind of interesting to hear. The answers that I have has to do with plans before games. And look, my father, or the times of my father in the 80s, or like there were no real game plans. Like people would go over there, they will tell you a system kind of, and you will play basically. But for the last 15 years or so, at certain level, there are game plans. So if you can tell me, yes, coaches that have made you understand what was going to happen in games and really ease your work, or if there is any game in which you were like, okay, I think we were really understanding what we were facing and it helped us a lot. And if not, just respond in a very polite way. Because I can remember those things as a coach, like games, me and Gabriel, the other coach, in which we nail it. Sometimes we screw up, but other times like we nail it, also because we had the plan. If not, you just do.
Okay. From my 3 teams I was on, DC was, so the assistant coach was the one who did everything tactically. Anything was tactical, it was the assistant coach. And in those games, some of these game plans worked and a decent amount did not. hence them not winning the whole thing. Because there's no way you're not going to win it unless you have a full technical understanding of everybody understanding it. And at Loudoun, tactically was not very
difficult with so many tournaments.
So many guys coming in and out, which is hard to do as a feeder team, as well as younger guys as well. Very hard to get tactically to understand. So they're playing the occasion. It's their first professional game, second professional, so very, very different there. And even at Birmingham, tactically, I think we were playing in a very it wasn't a modern system. We were playing a 4-4-2 diamond. A lot of running.
A lot. Yeah.
This past year wasn't the year for me to be like, okay, my tactical understanding went up because of what I learned. If anything, it went up because of understanding things that Quincy helped me taught me, or me going and analyzing my own games and going back. But I wasn't in the DC team enough when it came to playing to say that like the tactics impacted me. It was good to see different tactical things that we were trying to do in different situations. But ultimately, I think it was a lot of moments of brilliance from different people on the pitch. Like I remember Lucho opening up a game. I remember Wayne scoring from half field. So like a lot of stuff like that kind of pushed the boat. And that's good. You need that. But yeah, that's what I got from DC and Loudoun. It was very difficult tactically because it was more advanced, just things I was seeing through DC. So it was very difficult to kind of interlock those and get a tactical system down when I'm showing up 2 days before the match. Absolutely. We're trying to do film sessions after I'm done training with DC. I have to run over to Loudoun and do a film session with the whole team, this, and this. So it was difficult. And at Birmingham, they already had their system and everything, and I just had to try to adjust to it. Like I didn't really have a say in like maybe we should change it a little bit. It was like, okay, 4-4-2 diamond, play in it, kind of thing. And yeah, we have the general scouting of other teams, their key players, what they're playing, what they could play, how we want to break them down. But from that, I think the best teams in the world are doing more than just that.
Probably.
They make adjustments, if we see things in the first 5-10 minutes that aren't the way we thought they're going to be, then we change and we make an adjustment.
Yeah.
I didn't see too much of that. It is what it is because we made the run with what we had. And a lot of players stepped up and was like, okay, I'm going to play today. And like, granted, at these levels, like, it seems like that's doable, but like, that's not sustainable to be victorious in the end. I know. So I'm still waiting for that one coach or coaching staff that I'm like, well, okay, don't just tell me to figure it out and go out and play because I'm a professional. I understand that. I understand that as a professional, you have to figure things out. But I was just talking to my one of my teammates about this yesterday. What I want is someone to put me within a structure and let me work within the structure. Let me be flexible. Those are the best teams that have a structure, but let these guys be flexible. For instance, Pep Guardiola. The best example would be Raheem Sterling. This guy, he hammered this guy. Hammered him to do it, play the way he wanted him to play. Stay wide, stay high, make that run every time. You will get the ball, and then let Raheem do Raheem. So like, that's what I'm waiting for. I'm not saying I'm waiting for Pep to come over here, but I'm waiting for someone to give me the structure, and I'm like, oh, okay, I understand this. Because when everyone gets on the same page and has that structure, you're already 5% ahead of the other team, like, because they don't understand what you're doing. You have an understanding of what needs to be done, and when things go chaotic and things don't go well, because it happens in every football match, you have something to lean back on, and that's your structure. And you guys all know what it is, instead of like, oh, go figure it out. It's going to be very difficult to figure it out if nobody knows what to figure out, or nobody knows exactly what we started doing in the first place. So.
Yeah, awesome stuff, Akeem. I mean, I think very similar to what you said, and it's yeah. I will subscribe everything you said. I think I do hope I can also continue coaching, and regardless the level in which we were coaching, I think that was our goal. But also because as coaches, you want to develop, you want to put yourself challenges, and so you can get better. And the reality is that, to me, when you keep saying that thing about figure it out, of course you are not helping much, because as you said, it is almost impossible. Again, it's like you can go with the metaphor of an orchestra. No one is going to go, even jazz, like you have a certain structure in jazz as well. It's like, and so you cannot just say that to people in a game when everything is changing so much. But as a coach also, if you don't put yourself in the challenging situation of telling, okay, we need a plan, and we are going to try to tell this plan to the boys or the girls, you never progress. Because sometimes those plans are not good. That's how you learn as well, because that was not the right thing. And as you said, you can adjust, and eventually you build, a formation and education throughout the season. And that's how teams get better. It's not like you are going to get better the second day. No. The coaches are not going to figure it out. The players, the structure that you are mentioning, we have to put this player in here. Okay, we haven't figured out this player, but he has to be here. Things like that need time. You have, as a coach, also to understand that you have to be humble and that you are going to make mistakes throughout the way, but you are trying your best for the final goal, right? That's when you are going to beat the teams. And you also can beat the teams in the minute 80. It doesn't matter. You don't have to beat them in the minute 15 when the student understanding is better. So I do think, and I mean, probably we can agree that it's one of the main differences between soccer in US and soccer in certain places in Europe, right? The tactical understanding, the being trained since you were 12 or 13 with a little bit more of tactical input and things like that, right?
Yeah.
Probably Lucho or some of these players were like probably more like playing easy, not only just technically, but also understanding what was going on, where I have to go, the pocket for me is here, and things like that.
For sure. That would learn at a younger age, 100%.
Yeah. I have a couple more, and one is just about the puppy. Vale? Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah.
So
I'll get her in a second.
Okay, wait. Before that, I have one that it might be a little bit complicated, but I'm gonna start with size, and then I wanna say something about race. And if you wanna, I mean, we are gonna have actually a piece with Elijah and another kid, another African American player that I know about that. But about size, I think that in the States, because the game is a little bit physical, or a little bit physical than in other places, some coaches still, or some people still have some prejudices about size. I know you are not huge, but I'm not talking about you. How do you think, like, have you seen around you or with yourself the situation which someone look at you and says, this guy is too small to play this position, this guy is too small just to play the game? Or I think the game has gone farther, but there are still places in which it is like a smaller guy or a leaner guy have to shoot more than other guys. How do you feel that kind of understanding of what it's important in soccer, or just based on physical attributes? How is that you and the people around you?
I think for sure MLS teams, some of them kind of didn't pick me up because of my size, 100%. I think that's still prevalent. Maybe the more old school coaches are thinking like that. But I think with my size personally, I combat my size with my speed and my feet. So some teams didn't see that as big of a thing because of, we're going to put two big center backs and our outside backs can be quick and get around the edges. Yeah, we understand they need to win balls in the air, yeah, but they have cover. So that's not our biggest main thing because we want to play anyway. We want to have the ball on the ground. So that's what I see the MLS shifting to more. But I think size used to be really, really, really big here. And I think it's gotten less and less important and more of your soccer IQ. And if you can play the game and figure out how to combat being smaller than other players. But athleticism obviously matters. You need someone, first thing you need is somebody who can run, just who can run. And then if they're bigger and they can run, then that's even better. Like that's even better. That's what MLS sees it like that. But with size, I think personally, I don't think it matters because I'm not the biggest guy anymore. But
I've been on the locker room with Lucho.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Lucho.
Size. That's what I'm saying. Size does not matter. When I tell you Lucho when he turned the corner, he'd be below me. And I'm like, what is this? What is this? Like fantastic. Something I've never seen before. I would say he's the best player I've ever played with. Wayne was unbelievable, but like the things that this guy Lucho would do, I've never seen that stuff before. But I think the MLS is moving away from understanding, like caring about size.
A little bit on that line of argument with stereotyping players. So the piece I am gonna do with Elijah and Jelani, I was thinking on a few players and a couple of players that came to some other discussions. Like we were, for example, talking about Varane, the center back of Real Madrid, and because he's pairing with Sergio Ramos, and Sergio Ramos gets all the attention, and is the captain, the Spanish guy in the Spanish team. He's kind of underappreciated, undervalued, but also I think there is some kind of undervalue when it comes to abilities that have not to do with physicality for African American or Black soccer players. And we are gonna just chat a little bit and just throwing in there some names. And also talking with you. You think about the game. You know, if someone has to talk about you, say after talking with you that you have an IQ about the game and you understand the game. And I know you are quick and all that stuff, but the reality is that maybe because you are quick or maybe because of that stuff, you are put on the wings. A lot of the game is decided on the center channel, right? You are telling, hey, Joel was the one putting me the ball. So just our discussion and our talk and me listening to them is going to be about that. It's like, and maybe this is more for the guys in the Premier League. When you see Kante, they think only about the physicality. When they were seeing Patrick Vieira, they were thinking that he's a big guy and not so much about their ability to read the game. And also, yourself, like, do you think you are always going to be a wing player? Or, so respond or just give your thoughts about that. Or if you have, hey, this guy could play also in the center pitch and positions, and why is he playing on the wing? I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't believe like race has too much to do with the positions you play. I think it's more athletic ability. I feel like athletic ability is more generalized with race, for sure. But with that being said, like I was a 10. I was 10 when I was 16. I played 9. I played like a false 9 at 16, 17. So like I know maybe I don't have that like knack for goal anymore, but I know if I was put there and given time in this professional game, I still could be able to adjust to it. I think being very honest, I think I could adjust to playing 10 and getting forward and using my attacking ability and still coming back and defending as well. Different type of defending for sure. But but what I do think race is used for is really prevalent for is kind of when I see a lot of players who are underpaid in MLS, they're usually mainly African American. And I saw this firsthand on my team. Like there was a lot of guys who were homegrown from age of 19 and 25 now and still underpaid crazy, and to homegrowns that are 16 making more money than they're white, and there's something going on. I'm looking, like, you can literally go on the MLS. You can go type in wages and see how much people are making. You can see everybody's. You can see everybody's how much people are making, and then kind of put this in together. But I kind of saw a common theme. You know, there's an odd few here and here, which kind of pulls up the median and makes it way. If you think the average is way higher, it's way higher than it actually is, because some of these guys are making 3.2 million, and it kind of like scales it wrong. But I do think that race is still prevalent in the athletic world, and especially in the soccer world. For example, would be like it's very easy to write off an African American player who is loud, doesn't listen. You know, like, he could be a fantastic player, but if that were maybe a white player and that was happening, they'd be like, okay, let's try to work with him. You know, like, let's give him a nudge. But not if he's an African American player. Maybe like, okay, write this guy off, and then as soon as that happens, he could not know what he's doing, and boom, there goes his what people think about him. There goes his reputation, kind of thing, and that will follow you. It's way harder to get out of something than to not even get yourself in it, to be honest. So, like, things like that are so prevalent and they exist, and they are real in the game. Not saying it happens everywhere, but it'd be naive to think it doesn't happen. Like, when it comes to racism on the pitch, I don't really see that too prevalent in America. Like, I know things are going on in Italy all the time, but I don't think they're too prevalent. I don't know if it's because the fan base hasn't totally gotten around it too much in, like, just the game of football and in America. But I don't really think that's like the biggest issue with, like, racism on the pitch. But I think of equality in locker rooms or equality in with pay. I don't think I think it's still, it may be subconscious, but, like, it's still there. It's still there for sure. So yeah.
Papi. Mira, the thing is that like, I don't know if you know, but I got married, actually.
Congratulations! I think we spoke about this.
So, and my wife, and I love dogs, but my wife has never had a dog, and she really wants one. And one of the possibilities is a Bernese Mountain, I think.
Bernese Mountain Dog. It looks exactly like my dog.
Yeah, and so when I saw that, and she was similarly, no, it's an Australian Shepherd, right? And she was like, we cannot have that one because he's very active or something like that.
So hyper.
That's good for you then. That's good for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, how is the puppy?
She's good. She's sleeping right now in her crate. I might bring her over there, and she's probably gonna be mad at me now, but she's good. She's 3 months. She's 14 weeks now, I think. 13 or 14 weeks. Let's see if I can turn this around.
Oh.
Yeah, she's very mad at me right now. She just woke up, so.
No, it's beautiful, man.
She's mad at me right now because she won't even look at me because I put her in there.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
but yeah, she's awesome. She's been helping me along during this whole time, during the quarantine. I'm staying busy, got a lot of stuff I'm doing, but
yeah,
she keeps me active. I'm going on 6-mile walks with this dog and this and this. So I'm staying active, always burning good calories, and
it's fun, right? It's fun as well, right?
It's so fun. Dogs are crazy. I didn't know dogs are this crazy. It's this type of dog, but she always has me laughing, has me smiling. So it just brings a little bit of joy into my life. I've always wanted a dog for the past 2-3 years.
Okay.
Could never find the time. So
hey,
this is the perfect thing. So
I appreciate a lot. So all the time you are giving to this chat, and so did you look into, just kind of to finish also, did you look into other kind of dogs, and why did you, do you have a recommendation for me, or why did you choose that one?
So what I did is, I was looking during everything started kicking off near quarantine. I was looking for about 2 weeks. I went to adoption agencies and stuff like that. A couple people said no, like we don't think you'd be good for this puppy. I was very confused. This is the question I posed. I was like, 2 times I tried to get a puppy from like an adoption, like a foster home, and they said no, this puppy would be the best with somebody who's already had a dog before. I said, do people realize that at one point in time, everyone's not had a dog? So, like, why you keep telling me I need a dog to raise this dog? All I need is love, which I have for this dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. But, like, I got denied twice, and then I ended up going to a different adoption place and going to see a couple dogs twice. And I went there, and, like, I could have picked up the dog that day and everything. And I went twice, and I just didn't find the right dog for me. And then I ended up reaching out to a breeder for an Australian Shepherd, because like that was on my list. It was like a lab or Australian Shepherd, and I ended up meeting her, and I was like, like I was gonna stop. Like I was done looking. Yeah. And I found online like a kind of a forum for the breeder, and I was like, why not? Let's see how it works, whatever. And then I went and saw her, and I was like, okay, yeah. And then I picked her up, and I was like, okay, I made the right call. So like I can't see. It's been like almost like a month, and I can't see my life without her. I can't like imagine that kind of like what I'd be doing, just sitting around nothing. So like she's good. I think good dogs that like are good home dogs are Labradors, or like if you don't want a dog that's shedding, like a Labradoodle. They're non-hypoallergenic. They don't shed. My dog's gonna shed so much. But we'll get there, and we'll figure it out eventually. And what size dog are you looking at? Like a big or small? Or?
The truth is that we are on opposite sides. Like she wants a really small one, like a lap dog, and I had a Siberian Husky when I was a teenager. Ooh. Super active as well, super independent. So we both like the Bernese Mountain, and she seems to be okay as long as I'm outside with him or her. But I don't know. We'll see. At times we say 2 dogs, which is too much. Start with 1. And the thing about the Bernese Mountain is that the life expectancy is very small. It's like
really
8 years or something like that. Yeah. So.
Why?
What is that? What happens with this dog? So
I don't know.
But it's also a difficult, kind of thought process. Just looking to life expectancy, and it's like, well, there is always an average. So maybe we have the 10 years or something. So 2 things. Now I am living in Richmond, so very close to where you are playing. I hope I can drive down. And I am actually going to move to Charlottesville, where UVA is, but I am still going to be in driving distance. So I hope to go with my wife to watch, or myself just to watch you play.
You have tickets? You have tickets, no doubt. No worries.
And then the other thing is that now, ElijahAdekugbe is a great guy. And I'm thinking, like, among the things I'm going to do with this thing, maybe, like, I really like those games with Calgary versus Timbers and versus Lane. Maybe you can do something. Maybe, or if it's only just a conversation with a guy from maybe you and Ray and him, or maybe putting some footage in there, and then I see you going to each other.
Yeah, we can try to figure something out for sure. Yeah, those were always fun times for sure. Looking back and being in Eugene and having a good time and just enjoying it. In the summer you're like, okay, it's time to chill. To be fair, I never really was able to chill because I was doing school. I was doing all summer classes.
That's true. That's true.
So I was doing like 3 summer classes because I was behind when I went from Hastings, my NAIA, to Creighton. I was behind. So I had to catch up, and then I had to speed up to finish the semester early. So, it was a lot.
I remember you telling me, Iñaki, I can't. I have to do this. I have to.
I remember I had so much stuff, and then I was trying to train kids, and I was actually doing so much for summer where you're supposed to be relaxing.
Yeah.
No, but it was good because I got out of school early with my degree and then still went professional. So I wouldn't take that back at all, you know.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, thanks a lot, and it's always great to catch up with you. And yeah, keep. I mean, you have Quincy and other people, but you can play and you are good, and you just need to keep doing that until someone else keep just giving you confidence, and that's it. Just keep doing what you are doing. Okay. Vale?
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me on. You know, stay safe, stay healthy.
Yeah. Same
for sure.
Same for you.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, bye-bye. Appreciate it.
Yeah.